Welcome to the RedZone Report. This is a new podcast where we talk about everything football. I'm Landon, and today my friend Ishan is joining me. Welcome, Ishan.
Hey.
Hi.
All right, let's get started.
Yeah. All right.
To start off, a couple players got cut so far in this honestly hectic free agency so far.
Yeah, there's a lot going on right now.
Yeah, honestly, I've been watching football for quite a few years, and this is probably one of the most hectic free agencies I've seen so far.
Yeah, I just started watching this year, so this is pretty new to me, and this is
it's never
insane.
usually this hectic.
Oh, okay.
So to start off, we have Zeke Elliott. He got cut. As a Cowboys fan, I'm pretty happy. He did serve us well for 5 years, but that's the average running back lifespan, so makes sense.
I mean, he peaked his first year, and after that, it was kind of just it was slowly downhill from there until this last season. Then
that's all running backs though for the most part. When you look at it, but honestly, he did survive a lot longer than most running backs too.
Yeah, it took the Cowboys I think it took them a while to realize that Tony Pollard was just the obvious choice to go to, especially after the end of the last season. They just continuously just had him in the starter.
The reason why is because his contract was too big, I think. So for him to not be a starter, we're paying this man $20 million to sit on the bench, that just doesn't seem right, you know?
Yeah, it's not right, especially for the skill level that he's at right now that he used to be at. It's not normal.
So this begs the question: where do you think Zeke is going to go now that he's technically a free agent?
Well, there's a couple teams I can think of that need a running back, but I doubt they're going to take it. Obviously, the Lions got rid of Jamal Williams, right?
Yeah.
Did they cut him or traded?
They just weren't seeing sides.
Okay.
They weren't meeting eye to eye for their contract. Contract.
So I mean, they might be looking for a new one, even though they have DeAndre Swift. He's, I mean, I don't think he's at the level that they're hoping for right now. And then also, New England, they don't have that good of a running back. Wait, who is their running back?
Good question. I think it's Ramondre Stevenson.
Oh, yeah.
He's not bad. He's not bad.
He's decent, but I wouldn't say he's top tier. Not yet.
A team that does need a running back, I think, and I think that Zeke might actually be able to do well in their scheme, especially since I think the Dolphins, they rely a lot on the passing game.
Yeah, they do.
And because of that, Zeke has a lot more freedom to screw up, even though he most likely won't, you know?
Yeah, because they don't really use Raheem Mostert or Jeff Wilson Jr., so.
Because, I watched the divisional round, and when Pollard got injured, the passing game wasn't working. We had to rely on the running back, which was Pollard at the time, and then he got hurt. Zeke wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
So now that he's on the Dolphins, actually, if he was on the Dolphins, they'd rely on the passing a lot more. Because I know damn well Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle ain't messing up on the same game, you know.
Yeah, and then also Tampa Bay. I mean, they got Leonard Fournette. He's a power.
I think Leonard
rusher.
Fournette's gonna leave.
Yeah.
Fournette's gonna leave.
Yeah, because if he does, Tampa Bay's gonna be looking for one. I think that could be a pretty good team for him.
Yeah,
because they're used to that kind of power rusher that Zeke Elliott kind of is. He's not up to the power of Leonard Fournette, because that guy's basically a tank on the field.
But I feel like a lot of teams are gonna see still him as a starting running back, which, in my opinion, he has right now is a good backup. He's not starter mentality.
Yeah,
he's not starter ready yet. Now. All right, so moving on, starting with free agency. This was totally not planned. Another Eagles player left them. Yeah. Miles Sanders going to the Panthers. A replacement for CMC.
Yeah.
Again, not
as good.
CMC by no regards, but he's still a solid guy who will get you 1,000 yards.
Yeah, he'll do it for you. But I mean, CMC he was on another level for them. So.
Yeah. The contract I was not able to find. It probably is going to be obviously spoken about by the time it's posted, but I think honestly he's a good fit. You know, they're rebuilding, and Miles Sanders, solid running back. The Panthers obviously got the number 1 overall pick, which we'll talk about later. And they're getting a rookie quarterback, and the rookie quarterback doesn't have to be pressured by passing the ball 1,000 times a game because he has a solid running back who can also work some of the load.
Mm-hmm.
So we're doing 2 more running backs, and then you won't have to suffer with running back. Actually, there's a couple more, but Jamal Williams, 3 years, $12 million to the New Orleans Saints.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, I don't know why they signed him.
Yeah.
And then until I realized Alvin Kamara has the potential of being suspended this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was confused on that as well because I was about to say they already have a solid starting running back, but
yeah. And then Alvin Kamara is actually might get suspended this year for doing some stuff last year, but it was kind of already said.
Mm-hmm.
And so I mean, it's not okay. It's smart for 5 games, and then they probably might not need him unless he might just do what he did with Detroit and just take Alvin Kamara's job.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't be surprised if they get rid of him before the trade deadline. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Let's say Alvin Kamara doesn't get suspended for anything at all, and then he ends up just playing the whole time, and Jamal Williams is going to end up on the bench. So,
Jamal Williams is definitely not a bad trade option. The thing
Yeah.
is, he is a little bit on the old side for running back, hitting his high 20s.
yeah.
And the thing is, with running backs, they're literally only good for like 3 or 4 years, and they'll fall off a cliff.
Yeah.
So, speaking of falling off a cliff, David Montgomery, he was literally only good for 1 year, and now he is with the Lions because the Lions were not able to meet eye to eye with Jamal Williams.
Yeah.
So they're saying another backup running back, David Montgomery, come here from the Bears, 3 years, $18 million.
Uh-huh.
More than the Saints paid, so I mean, how are they not seeing eye to eye? But
Yeah, exactly.
David Montgomery, he's a good running back. He got 1,000 yards. He is very injury prone, however.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets left as a free agent for a while, though.
Thing is, DeAndre Swift has gotten his job stolen from him twice. One with Jamal Williams, and the second one with, I don't know, I forgot who.
Mm-hmm.
But he got injured quite a few times. So David Montgomery's a really good backup running back to replace when Swift gets his annual 4 games I'm out.
Mm-hmm. That's how irrelevant DeAndre Swift is. That he can get his spot taken by a nobody.
No, I just don't remember.
Yeah,
It's not necessarily nobody. He might honestly be, but I just don't remember. Let's see. Who else do we have? We have Alan Lazard getting paid $11 million a year to be Aaron Rodgers' cheerleader.
Yeah,
All
pretty
right,
much.
What do you think about that?
I mean, I know why Aaron Rodgers was like, all right, I need these lists of players if you're gonna take me to the Jets. But I mean, Alan Lazard, I understand, but there's like 2 other guys on there, and they were both like in their 30s, so I don't really understand that. Plus, the Jets already have a running back, and I'm pretty sure he was asking for one.
Alan Lazard is 27. He got 800 yards this year with Green Bay, 6 tutties as well. He's tall. Yeah, he's 6'5".
Yeah, that's a tall guy.
That's really tall.
Like I understand Alan Lazard, but
I think the signing was not a bad signing. It wasn't necessarily an overpay. It wasn't necessarily an underpay either.
Yeah.
So the signing wasn't bad, but the reason for the signing was, I mean, okay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, $11 million. Come cheer on Aaron Rodgers. Sit on the bench the whole season. Whatever.
No, he's gonna play. He's gonna play.
Is he
like
gonna be starter or like second
He'll be like
string?
the wide receiver 2 or 3 behind Garrett Wilson and maybe someone else.
Oh, okay. Because I figured Garrett Wilson would stay wide receiver 1.
We got 2 Raiders players. Let's start off with Jimmy Garoppolo, 3 years, $67.5 million.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Ridiculous, and they're definitely overpaying for him.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because he's like a little bit above Derek Carr, and for them to be paying that much, I mean, really?
Yeah, I agree. Especially since like it's honestly going to probably only be like a 1-year rental, maybe not even that, depending on who they get in the draft.
Yeah, exactly.
And speaking of overpaid quarterbacks, we have a couple others. Derek Carr got paid, I think, $30-something million a year again for literally probably just being another 1-year rental, like I've been saying, right?
Yeah. What team though?
The Saints.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I forgot.
Yeah, and then Daniel Jones. Something amount of years, but $40 million a year. That is absolutely ridiculous.
Yes, definitely.
And I checked this man's stats, And I'm like, what's the hype about him? Like, his stats are honestly unimpressive.
Yeah.
He took the team to the playoffs. He won them a playoff game, which I'll give him full credit for that.
Yeah.
He honestly played an amazing game out there. He looked amazing.
Yeah,
in
he
that playoff game against the
outperformed.
Vikings.
He outperformed his entire team on there.
Besides maybe Saquon, but like
Yeah,
the entire team did well. The entire team did good.
Yeah.
And Daniel Jones had the game of his career in the playoffs. I will not deny that.
Mm.
But this man also had the same amount of touchdown passes as Davis Mills.
Mm-hmm.
And this man has never thrown for over 2 touchdown passes this year, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Which for a quarterback getting paid $40 million a year, which that's Dak Prescott numbers. I know he's not as good as he used to be, but this man in Dak Prescott in his like prime, he threw more than 2 touchdowns on a consistent basis.
Yeah, I just looked Derek Carr. Going back to him, I just looked up his stats. He had 3,000 passing yards in the whole last season.
He got benched for the last 3 games.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. But like Daniel Jones, for like having unimpressive stats, honestly, is probably the biggest overpay of the year so far.
Oh, definitely.
And then they franchise tagged Saquon as well. So franchise tag, you can't necessarily go wrong with the franchise tag. So not too crazy bad or about that. So yeah. So I did say we were going to another Rangers player, right?
Yeah.
Jacoby Myers, 3 years, $33 million, $11 million a year.
Dang.
And honestly, I consider this very funny that they signed him, considering he literally gave him a free win when they played the Patriots last year.
Yeah.
And so I kind of find that funny. I mean, that's depends on if Devontae Adams is staying there. If Devontae Adams is staying, that's a pretty damn good receiving core. It's top 8, maybe top 5, dare I say, when healthy.
Yeah.
But if Devontae Adams is not staying, that is the most mid receiving core I've ever seen.
Yeah, I'd say one of the top. I'd give top 5 receiving core to the Dolphins, definitely.
Dolphins, Raiders though with Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow when healthy is an 1,000-yard man a year when he's the number 1.
Yeah.
And then Jacoby Myers will also get you 800 yards a year when he's like a main guy, which are all impressive stats.
Yeah.
So considering Hunter Renfrow was injured for some time, it honestly makes a little bit of sense that that they pick up Jacoby Myers. It's kind of like we know you're not as good as Hunter Renfrow, but you can fill in the job once he gets injured because we know damn well he will be.
Yeah.
Next up, you probably, I don't know if you know who he is, but Tremaine Edmonds to the Chicago Bears, 4 years, $72 million. I can't do that math in my head a year. $18 million a year.
You just pulled up on your phone.
No. I did that quick math.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so he was on the Bills.
Yeah, so he was the main Bills coverage linebacker. I don't know too much on him besides that he is a good user of Madden. But so he honestly good pickup for the Bears. He is a replacement to Roquan Smith, who got traded to the Ravens midseason. So solid defense is starting point to build your defense around that. He's not necessarily the type of player you build your defense around, but he's a good starting point for that.
Yeah, because he had 1 sack and 1 interception.
And also like 100-something tackles.
Yeah.
Jesse Bates, 4 years, $64 million, $16 million a year to the Atlanta Falcons from the Cincinnati Bengals. From Cincinnati to Atlanta.
Yeah, I mean,
in my opinion, this man's like a top 5, top 8 safety in the league. And he is honestly, the Falcons have one of the biggest cap the biggest amount of cap space in the league, one of the biggest. And so honestly, you can't really go wrong with maybe slightly overpaying some players as well.
Because I mean, the Falcons don't have that great of a team, and plus they cut Marcus Mariota, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
So I'm just questioning who's going to be their new quarterback. I'm betting they're planning on drafting one.
They haven't gotten one yet. That's right. They have Desmond Ridder right now.
Yeah.
Oh wait. No. Okay. I'm blanking. I don't think they got anyone though.
Yeah.
So
I think they're just going to draft one and rely on their draft pick for a decent quarterback.
Yeah.
That's
Staying on the NFC South, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers got Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, actually, I saw that. I was actually shocked by that.
I don't remember the contract. It's honestly a very smart move, though, considering the Buccaneers. It's again the same thing I've said with Derek Carr, the same thing I've said with Jimmy Garoppolo. It's a 1-year rental.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, the Tampa Bay does not plan on like fully replacing Tom Brady with Baker Mayfield.
Like at this point, the Buccaneers, they made the playoffs, so they are not going to have a good draft pick.
Yeah, exactly. So
especially being a quarterback heavy draft, and like 4 of like the top 10 teams are most likely going to get a quarterback.
Yeah.
So Baker Mayfield, he's a good thing. He's a good person to like. We know we're not going to make the playoffs, but just help us stay somewhat alive and irrelevant.
Yeah, you need to keep us like in the game so that we actually have somewhat of a chance, but you're not going to stay.
Yeah. Going back to the Eagles, having 20 players in free, like on their contract year, and Javon Hargraves, one of them, went to the 49ers.
Yep.
Ironically, 4 years, $80 million, $20 million a year.
Yeah.
For the Niners, they have an amazing front seven. That's what they're known for. Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their biggest weakness on that, though, is the defensive tackle position, and they 100% stuffed that up, literally, with Javon Hargraves.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
11 sacks for defensive tackle is like insanely impressive, and not to mention this guy can stop the run too. Their front seven is honestly perfect now. Besides,
I'd be terrified as a quarterback of the 49ers going against them. I'd be terrified.
Yeah, but the only slight issue I might have is maybe their blitzing linebackers, but I don't think they play like that anyway. So
yeah, I don't think they focus on that mainly.
Yeah. Next player, Patrick Peterson, 2 years, $14 million from the Vikings to Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, there's not much to say.
I mean, he's 32 years old. He's going to be 34 by the time his contract expires.
Yeah.
So, honestly, he's still not a bad corner. I think they maybe could have paid him a little bit more, but I mean, it is what it is. They got themselves a decent corner to play with.
Yeah, just a little bit underpaid, but I mean, not bad.
We'll save Aaron Rodgers for last.
Yes, we will.
Let's look at 4 trades, actually. We'll start off with the most past one. We're going to the most recent one. Number 1 overall pick for DJ Moore, a first-round pick. So they're a first-round pick next year, and a second-round pick, and maybe I think another second-round pick.
Yeah,
that's a lot of stuff for the first overall pick. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it was pretty stupid because now the Panthers have no one, even with getting Jamal Williams, or not Jamal Williams,
Miles Sanders.
Miles Sanders, yeah. I mean, even with him, he's not going to be able to carry the whole team because I know the Panthers are going to try and draft a really good quarterback, but I mean, they just emptied out all their wide receivers, so.
I think the Bears absolutely won this trade.
Oh, definitely.
When you look at it, the Bears don't need a quarterback. They got Justin Fields. He was fine. If he just improves his throwing, he'll be pretty good. You know, he'll be solid enough to take the team to the playoffs and so on. The Bears literally just went up 8 spots.
Yeah.
They're still going to get a top 5 non-quarterback in the draft. I think it's pretty safe to say.
Because they do need a better wide receiver core, but I mean, still, they can definitely fix that with the stuff that they're getting.
Like they still will get a great player.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, they're getting another first-round pick, 2 seconds, and another good wide receiver.
Yeah, exactly. So they're going to be filling up their wide receiver spots pretty quickly in this draft.
Their receiver spots are already set, in my opinion. They got DJ Moore, Chase Claypool, and Darnell Mooney. Those are solid. Those are all solid wide receivers.
I wouldn't be surprised if they drafted like one more wide receiver to put in the place of Darnell Mooney.
Yeah, Darnell Mooney is injury prone at times, but the only concern I do have is the fact that they don't have like a solidified, I'm the number 1 wide receiver on the team kind of player.
Yeah, they don't really have that. Like the Bills have Stephon Diggs, the Dolphins have Tyreek Hill, and it doesn't even have to be like a major player like that. But still.
Like CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, exactly. Like CeeDee Lamb for the Cowboys. Like, They have like a
Yeah.
set wide receiver one. With the Bears, they don't really have that. Same thing with the
Yeah.
the Ravens.
Well, the Ravens, they don't have any good wide receivers right now.
Exactly. So they don't really have
Like
a
the
wide receiver
Bears
one.
have the Bears have 3 wide receiver twos,
Yeah, they kind of do.
and they need a 1, 2, and 3. Now it's fine having a wide receiver 2 at the wide receiver 3 spot, but
They really need to pick up a wide receiver
there's
one.
not really solidified. I'm gonna get you 1,000 yards consistently kind of player on that
Yeah,
team.
they don't have that.
And I feel like that's what they maybe need, but I think as of right now, they're set on wide receivers for now.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Jalen Ramsey to the Dolphins. The Rams are going to get a 3rd-round pick and a long snapper. Again, a pretty lopsided one. The Dolphins easily won this.
Yeah.
They're getting, in my opinion, he's still a top 5 cornerback in the league.
Yeah.
And the Rams literally have a 3rd-round pick I don't know who he's going to turn into, but we'll see. And then a long snapper, so.
Yeah, that's great for them, I guess.
Dolphins easily won, but I do think this is the start of something. Y'all might not recognize this as football fans, but in basketball, this team basically trade away all their superstars for like a bunch of picks. I think that's what the Rams are going to do.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, but I mean, still, the Rams still have a good team. They still have Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, they still have a solid team, but like
whenever Cooper Kupp's not hurt.
They traded Jalen Ramsey away.
Yeah.
For nothing crazy, for like an obscure, like not anything crazy.
Yeah, they definitely lost out on that one.
So they might do like, Cooper Kupp, that team, Aaron Donald, that team, Matthew Stafford, that team, like kind of thing, or Matthew Stafford. Yeah. 2 more trades, and then we'll go over to some predictions.
Yep.
Darren Waller to the Giants. The Raiders are getting the 100th overall pick in the NFL draft.
Nice.
And actually, a funny story about this 100th overall pick. It was first belonging to the Chiefs. They traded it to the Giants for Kadarius Toney. And now the Giants traded to the Raiders for Darren Waller. So basically, the Giants converted Kadarius Toney to Darren Waller.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good.
That's a pretty good thing. Darren Waller, when healthy, is a top 10 tight end in the league.
Oh, yeah, but he is pretty injury prone.
He is injury prone.
I know that for sure from fantasy football.
But he is a really good weapon for Daniel Jones to have. He's a good starter weapon.
Oh, yeah, he is a good starter weapon for sure.
They don't have really any wide receivers who can step up and make that play. And Darren Waller is a tight end that can also make that play.
Yeah, I mean, who's the wide receiver 1? Isaiah Hodgins? Or
I'm going to be honest, I don't know.
I think it might be Isaiah Hodgins.
It might be, but so one more, my favorite one. The Cowboys are going to send the 5th-round pick to the Colts for Stephon Gilmore.
Which the Colts are actually really dumb for this. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, the Colts were kind of desperate in trading him, dare I say.
Yeah.
And but a lot of people are saying Stephon Gilmore is washed. He's still a really good corner.
I think the only reason people are saying he's washed is because he was on the Colts in the first place.
That might be the case. Also, like, you look at this man's like passer rating allowed, like when quarterbacks throw to him. It's lower than Jalen Ramsey and Patrick Surtain. Like, those are 2 corners. Everyone's like, y'all are good. Maybe not Jalen Ramsey as much anymore, but like those are like 2 corners who are like pretty damn good.
Oh yeah.
And Stephon Gilmore has allowed a worse passer rating when being targeted.
Oh yeah.
Which is like impressive, honestly.
Yeah, that's very impressive. So I honestly think the main reason he was doing bad, people say he's washed, is just because he's on the Colts in the first place.
He's also 31, and I think we saw this with Darius Slay as well, where when corners get older, they start to get a lot slower.
Yeah.
And so even though which might be their speed and being able to keep up with like the quick, like younger receivers.
Yeah, like Justin Jefferson, for example.
Starts to diminish.
Yeah, it does.
Now we're gonna have some predictions. We have 4 players, and then we'll wrap it up with the obvious one.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson. He posted something on Twitter actually saying, like, 3 years, 133 million, and people say I need an agent kind of thing,
Mm.
like to like the Ravens. And so, don't know if that's a bash at his agent or like what that's a bash at, but it's definitely like him being a little bit aggressive towards some sort of thing.
Yeah.
Do you think he's gonna stay or leave?
I honestly think that he's gonna leave myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd bet that he's gonna leave just based on the fact of the money alone. Because, I mean, like, as you saw, like, Jimmy Garoppolo getting paid as much as he is, and Lamar Jackson having 5 times the potential and skill that he has. I mean, he's definitely being underpaid.
I don't think it's even the money. Like he's been on that. He's been starting quarterback for that organization for 4 years now, and the Ravens have still yet to provide a solid wide receiver for him to use.
So what do you
it's kind of like I'm here literally doing everything. Are you gonna actually like give me help?
Yeah.
Like help me? And like I don't think it's just money. I think it's like I don't have any weapons around me. Give me like I want to go somewhere where I can actually play to my full potential.
Yeah. So what team do you think that he's going to go to?
I think he's gonna leave. Commanders used to be up there. I think the Commanders kind of fell out of the discussion now. I was also gonna maybe say Jets, but the Jets obviously are gonna get Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, the Jets are gonna get him now.
I'm gonna be honest, I have no clue, but I do think he's gonna leave. I don't know where. Off the top of my head, I don't know where.
I could probably knock off a couple teams. Probably, or definitely not Tennessee. I don't think he's gonna go there. I wouldn't be surprised if Tampa Bay tried to take him, because they're like you said, Baker Mayfield was like a one-time.
Baker Mayfield, yeah,
he's like a one-season wonder for the Tampa Bay, or at least they hope he is. But I mean, if they were able to pick up Lamar Jackson, they wouldn't have to worry about Baker Mayfield doing good for them.
Yeah, Baker Mayfield. I think they're gonna still rock with Baker Mayfield because Baker Mayfield's like, okay, we signed a quarterback because we know we're not gonna be able to get a good quarterback, so we're just gonna keep one so we can look competitive.
Yeah.
Even though they're still gonna probably go 5-12, but
yeah,
it is what it is. I don't know where he's gonna go, but I do think he's gonna leave. I mean, if I'm in Lamar Jackson situation, I'd 100% like agree with him.
I'd be gone. I wouldn't be surprised if Denver tried to take him because Denver does have a history of overpaying incredibly for quarterbacks.
Oh no, they're rocking with Russ. Denver's rocking with Russ.
Mainly because they just way overpaid for him.
Not only that, Russ wanted Champagne and they signed him. They got Champagne. So if you don't know, Lamar Jackson is placed on a franchise tag, which is like $28 million a year, which is slightly more than Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
And so basically, they said the only way for a team to be able to get Lamar Jackson is if they pay him more, or they give the Ravens 2 first-round picks.
Who's the Carolinas quarterback?
They have the number 1 overall pick. They're not.
Oh yeah, you're right. They're just gonna draft on. I forgot they traded everyone for it.
Austin Eckler. He requested a trade. The Chargers are like, okay, we'll trade. Where do you want to go? That's literally how it went. Yeah. I wish all trades were like that, but no.
Yeah, I know. If only if they were all that simple.
Yeah.
Now, I feel like there's a couple teams that need running backs because the Rams have Von Jefferson. Like, I feel like he'd be a good backup. I don't think he's that great of a starter.
Van Jefferson? Who? The Rams have?
Yeah.
Van Jefferson's a wide receiver.
Or I just said the wrong name. That's
Cam Akers.
That was dumb. I said the wrong name. Now it just sound dumb.
All right, let's resume.
Cam Akers. That's his name.
Cam Akers. He did do good at the end of the year, but
I feel like he's just a good second. Good backup.
He is a good backup.
He's like a solid backup, but I don't think he's good enough to be a starter.
Yeah. Let's see. What about off the top of my head? I'm thinking maybe the Falcons.
Potentially, but they have Cordell Patterson.
Yeah, they do. That's true.
So.
What about the I found this thing where he's gonna end up next year.
Mm.
I got the Dolphins, Lions, Bills, Bears, and Chargers.
Mm. He's gonna end up
I don't
back on the
think the
Chargers.
Bill, I don't think the Bills should get him,
No, they
but
shouldn't.
they honestly might, especially since they freed up like $20 million in cap.
Yeah, because if they do get him, that's a terrifying team. Austin Eckler, Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis.
The only concern I have with that team, however, is I'm gonna go. It's a little bit of superstition, but good teams who win the Super Bowl never win with good running backs.
Mm-hmm.
You look at the Chiefs. Honestly, you look at the Chiefs. Who they have?
Isaiah,
Pacheco.
yeah.
He's solid, but he's not like a top tier, right?
Exactly. He'd be a good backup to Austin Eckler.
What's it like? He's not like a top tier running back that Austin Eckler is.
Yeah.
Rams. They had Cam Akers. You know.
Yeah.
The Buccaneers with Fournette. Chiefs with Damian Williams.
Yeah.
And then like you keep going back and you realize the last team to actually win with a top 5 running back was the Seahawks in 2013 with Marshawn Lynch. It's been 10 years.
Yeah. I mean,
so
I was barely walking and talking at that point. No, I'm kidding. I was going to kindergarten.
So yeah, like it's like good teams historically don't win. I think the Bills might take a jab at him though.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they like put their toes in the water to test it, but I mean, I don't think that they're going to be willing to go as high as Austin Eckler's hoping for.
Well, no, it's not Austin Eckler, it's the Chargers that would.
Yeah, sorry.
Next up, DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah. I mean,
where do you think he's going to go?
I personally love D-Hop, but I mean, I'm not sure. There's obviously teams that need wide receivers, but I really don't know.
I think the Cowboys might have a chance of picking him up, if I'm being honest.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised as well if they tried for him, but
I think the Cowboys have a chance.
I mean, that'd be a good wide receiver core. CeeDee Lamb and D-Hop, and then have wide receiver 3 as Michael Gallup or whatever. I mean, he's all right, but still.
Like our biggest thing on offense is the fact that we don't have wide receiver depth.
Yeah, you don't.
Especially with Noah Brown gone and T.Y. Hilton's getting up that age. I mean, then again, so is DeAndre Hopkins, but he's still.
I mean, they put in T.Y. Hilton for one play. I'm just saying, 55 yards. Especially where they needed him. So.
Yeah. But
you never know, he could surprise.
I think DeAndre Hopkins might go to the Cowboys. Another team I was thinking of, the Chiefs, maybe, honestly.
Yeah, they do need wide receivers, especially after
Smith-Schuster Juju left. Yeah.
Yeah, with him leaving, Patrick Mahomes and DeAndre Hopkins, I feel like you feel like they do good together, but I mean, you did see what happened with Tyreek Hill. Patrick Mahomes got way better this season after Tyreek Hill left.
That is true, but also like in general, he had to play better, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I know that sounds kind of like obvious, but like the thing is, with no Tyreek Hill, it's kind of he knows that they have to rely on him more.
Yeah.
Instead of doing like 2-yard checkdowns to Tyreek Hill every 2 plays or something.
Mm-hmm.
So that was good. And then second to last is Bobby Wagner. I think he's gonna go. I said this already with D-Hop, I know. I think he's going to go to Dallas as well. And he actually does have a higher chance of going to Dallas because Dallas contacted him yesterday, actually, as the time of this making this 313.
Yeah, they called him yesterday, so that's the 14th.
Yeah, and then Bobby Wagner has openly said how amazing it was to play with to be coached under Dan Quinn, who was the defensive coordinator during his prime, during the historical Legion of Boom defense.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be shocked with that.
I think Dallas definitely has the lead on that, though.
Oh yeah, definitely. They already have like a huge head start on getting him.
Yeah. So lastly,
Mm-hmm.
We have Aaron Rodgers. What are your thoughts on him going to the Jets, most likely?
I mean, the Jets have already started. They already got 1 out of 4 off of his wish list to go to the Jets. Obviously,
No.
they got Alan Lazard. But, I
Yeah.
mean, I think the Jets are going to do whatever it takes to get Aaron Rodgers. Because the Jets do need a quarterback. Because they had Zach Wilson last year, right?
Zach Wilson and Mike White.
Yeah, so they desperately need a quarterback. So I
Yeah.
feel like they're going to do whatever it takes to get Aaron Rodgers. Plus,
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers still gets to wear the color green, so
Yeah.
he doesn't have to leave that behind. He just has to wear an uglier uniform.
For this man has done it for the past 2-3 years, and honestly, it's kind of like a reoccurring thing with like every single other old quarterback who gets to that age
Mm-hmm.
that they might retire at any given moment.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers, however, the thing that separates him is that he openly always says, "I don't know, where will I go? I'll decide later."
Yeah, exactly. He always tries to put it off for another time.
Yeah, and we're like, Tom Brady, Drew Brees, who retired recently. Those were all like the media's hyping him up. This might be Tom Brady's last pass ever.
Oh,
Or like this might be that's just like all hype kind of thing,
yeah.
Like it's just like the media hyping him up. Like Tom Brady's like, I'll make a decision when the time comes,
Mm-hmm.
right? And like that's the same thing as what Drew Brees said. Like he's not going to be like grabbing attention, saying, I might go here, but also this place seems like a good option. Oh, maybe I should go back, or maybe I should retire. Like they're not like going on like that. It's like grabbing more attention, which is something I never liked about Aaron Rodgers, and also why I never bought into the whole hype over him until now. Obviously,
Yeah. I mean, with Aaron Rodgers especially, since he still hasn't decided what he wants to do, I bet the Jets would be pretty mad if they got everybody on his wish list and he just retired. I think they'd be pretty mad.
That'd be an amazing way to screw them over. So
that would be like your last ode to the Green Bay. You're just like, I'm gonna screw this team over just so that they'll be so angry at me.
But yeah, I think he's actually openly said he's most
I think he is gonna accept it.
So how good do you think the Jets are gonna do then with the Aaron Rodgers signing?
With Aaron Rodgers signing, I feel like they have a pretty good chance because they also have Alan Lazard signing as well, or they already have him, I guess. But I think they're gonna have a really good shot at playoffs for this season.
I think so too. Yeah,
I think they have a great shot at playoffs.
Yeah, especially since Aaron Rodgers, he did have a down year, but he is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. He is going to bounce back.
Mm.
The one thing about quarterbacks that separates it from all the other positions in the NFL, it's more of a mind. It's more of like the mind. It's not really.
It's like wide receivers. You have to be fast. Running backs, you have to be big and strong. Whereas quarterbacks, you have to be smart. You have to be more smart than anything.
It's a mind thing. You got to throw the ball. Throwing doesn't take too much.
Yeah.
Thing.
Obviously, they still have to get their arm strength up, but it doesn't take as much power as other positions.
Not as daunting as some a wide receiver would be. It's also kind of why we've never really heard of the 40-year-old wide receiver, right?
Mm-hmm.
40-year-olds like Tom Brady are not they're pretty uncommon, but it's kind of expected sometimes.
Is Aaron Rodgers the oldest quarterback in the NFL now that Brady's retired?
I think so. Either him or Matt Ryan.
Oh yeah, I forgot Matt Ryan's still playing. Irrelevant, but at least
Matt Ryan did also
get cut.
Leave. Yeah. Let's see.
The Colts did need to get rid of him, but they're just going to draft a new quarterback.
Matt Ryan is 37 years, 302 days. A-Rod is 39, actually. Yeah, he's going to be 40.
Yeah.
So,
But after Aaron Rodgers retires, then it's Matt Ryan's turn.
Yeah. I think the Jets are borderline first-round exits.
I
don't think they have enough to do what it takes to make a deep playoff run.
But I think they have the potential to make it there.
Yeah, for sure. I think they're going to most likely make the playoffs. I wouldn't be shocked if they make it to the divisional round.
Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers, this man's a 4-time MVP.
Yeah.
Literally, he won an MVP 2 years, not this last season, but the season before that, when he threw 37 touchdowns to only 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
And, he still has it, right?
Oh, yeah, he definitely does.
So if he turns back to that MVP form, which in my opinion is highly unlikely, they will definitely make a deep playoff run.
Mm.
Especially since they already signed Nathaniel Hackett, which I know people are saying, "Oh my God, it's a joke." It's Aaron Rodgers. It was one of Aaron Rodgers' favorite offensive coordinators. You know how he
Yeah.
is with literally everything.
Yeah, no, he doesn't want to leave anything behind.
So, yeah, it's pretty much all we have for today.
And I say we start a tradition at the end of this is being way too early, but we give our Super Bowl winner predictions. All right, so who do you think's gonna win the Super Bowl? Just out of random guess.
Out of random guess, not the Eagles, not the Cowboys. I'll go Niners.
You think Niners? All right.
I'll go Niners if healthy. Niners versus the Bills. Niners Bills.
Okay.
Actually, not the Bills. Hold that thought. Ooh, that's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
There's no AFC team who can go to the Super Bowl right now. So I'll just say Niners look like clear favorites right now.
Okay.
Like you look at the Chiefs, they lost Juju Smith-Schuster, their wide receiver one. You look at the Bills, they lost their main coverage linebacker who literally was guarding everything under the first down marker.
Yeah.
And then look at the Bills, they lost both their safeties.
Mm-hmm.
So like every single major AFC team has lost something. So as of right now, I can't decide an AFC winner yet.
Okay.
What do you think?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and pick an AFC winner. I think based on the amount of potential they had last season, I think the Dolphins, because the amount of times that Tua has gotten hurt is ridiculous. If you have a healthy Tua and a healthy Tyreek and a healthy Waddle, and really any running back with it, Raheem Mostert, he's okay, he's solid, but he's not great. Yeah, exactly. Maybe even Zeke. I think that the Dolphins have a huge potential for Super Bowl.
Yeah. Also, I don't think a lot of people realize this man's 21-13 to start his career. Like those are solid stats. He's never had a losing record to start his. He's never had a losing record when he plays.
Exactly. So, I have pretty high hopes for the Dolphins. I'm not a Dolphins fan, but for this season, I'll be an honorary Dolphins fan.
Yeah, I think the Dolphins do have a chance of making a deep run, especially after that Jalen Ramsey acquirement. And if they get Zeke, they're pretty set on literally both sides of the ball. Maybe refine the defense a little bit, like especially the front seven. But overall, they're really solid on both ends.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna end off this episode saying that our Super Bowl prediction is Niners versus the Dolphins.
All right.
See y'all next time. Stay tuned.